Hello everybody, welcome to Let's Play Combat Mission Barbarossa to Berlin. It's easier to say Combat Mission Barbarossa to Berlin when it's staring at your face. Yeah, I kind of have a tongue twister there, Barbarossa to Berlin. Anyways, yeah, I'm looking for a new scenario to play. A new day, a new scenario. Well, it has been a bit difficult to choose a scenario here. Tractor works? No. I mean, I don't know whether I'm going to play any mission featuring a factory or works or anything like that after what I've gone through in the last scenario. Want something that is in the open space, where I can breathe in the fresh air of forest and fjords. Anyways, yeah, looking for a Axis mission here where I play as one of the Axis partners. And you can see there's some variety to what I can take in terms of the selection here when it comes to the Axis side. And I chose a Finnish mission called Retaking Viipuri because it reminds me of that old Panzer General 2 mission I played as a Soviet. And this is what happened, I think a bit before, where the Panzer General 2 mission is placed. This is continuation of the Continuation War. Well, I guess after the Winter War. That ended in 1940, and the city of Viipuri was taken by the Finnish forces. But Continuation War saw the Soviets taking away Viipuri, so this is now the Finnish opportunity once again to take the city back. I don't know whether the region was originally Finnish or not, but I bet Russians will have their own word or name for that place. Viipuri has been kind of, yeah, one of those places where they fought over. And I think right now it is in Russian hands, or Russian territory. Okay, so yeah, so we have to take it back, make use of the opportunity that the Germans, I think, had offered. An interesting case with Finland, I think. I think they had a really hard go at it because they were more or less between the Germans and Soviet Union. And I think they came out away from the war relatively unscathed and still retaining their independence, which is a lot more can be said than many other countries. Yeah, so very superb handling of the situation, I guess, and very capable, perhaps, leader on their side. The leader's name, I don't know, it kind of escapes me for a moment. Mannerheim, I'm not so sure, but then yeah, he was very instrumental in navigating the Finnish forces in these very difficult times. Anyways, yeah, so this is I don't know whether you read the briefing. I hope you paused and then read through. This is the guys who were supposedly the advance party that had crept during the night into this house and then stayed hidden. Kind of observational post, if you will, whether they can spy on the Russians, really. So they'll be hidden in a far off distance, while the rest of the troops will take the road and the forest. I bet they know the road well because, it has been their territory for some time, before the Russians took it. Yeah, so we have some experienced guys, regular troops. The Winter War, I guess the Finnish forces were pretty well suited for it because, they know how to navigate the land, they know how to use the land to their advantage as defensive fixtures. They have Alpine troops, the so-called famous troops riding on skis. And of course, they're very famous for their snipers. Yeah, very well-known snipers among the Finnish martial history. Anyways, I think we do control a particularly experienced sniper here. One of them is a crack sniper. I think I show you. So just looking at the leaders, some of them are green, but they do come with some bonus. Yeah, this guy's green, but combat +2, which is, I guess, nice to have. Just have to keep the groups together. And I think you have a wonderful time. Stealth +2, yeah, so this is a guy who's going to sneak around. I think it's going to be useful when you're trying to outflank the enemy. And this is the crack sniper called Core Susie. Yes, Mr. Susie. I think Core is probably their designation, like corporal or lieutenant. And this guy is an army spotter, loaned from German. And this guy is a handful. Well, not really a handful, but in a way, head case. I think you understand what I mean as the battle progresses. So this guy see everything here? No, not really. It's up the hill that we have to advance, and it's going to be pretty difficult because, high ground means everything in certain cases, like in Star Wars. Yeah, so we have this starting formation. We have a lot of infantry, so a lot of different orders had to be made. And yeah, going to try to do a double pincer movement around this hill and then try to surround the Soviets and use the artillery spotter and other instruments of death in order to pressure the Soviets into a corner. Hopefully the Finnish will be able to make it pretty quick in this small map. Yeah. And that is the cemetery that they were talking about in the operational briefing. The area for their ancestors. I wonder if the cemetery is still there in current day Russia. Hopefully it is still there. And some of the rubble here. Yeah, indication of the fight that had happened in the Winter War or something. Yeah, so the left group is going to it's going to track through the scattered trees on the left. There's like a scattered tree that goes all the way up to the middle part of the map. And here, the light machine gun squad is going to have a commanding view of the place despite them being in a lower ground. So it's going to stay relatively where they are, relatively to where they started. I'm going to move the troops around somewhat. Just have to make my mind up about this. And some of them, well, I try to concentrate or distribute them equally along the front. Do a bit of a double pincer movement, and I think in the right side we need to use those scattered trees, kind of islands of cover in order to advance. So we're going to move one group and then move the other group to screen while being screened by other group that has already arrived. Okay, so first turn. So we're just going to move the single tank. I think that is a T-26. I think this is captured Russian tank. Starts with T. And you're going to use it to screen for our advance here along the scattered trees alongside the road. And you're going to move to contact. Just not be too aggressive in the first turn where the Russians will be hiding in one of those buildings over there. It's going to open up with machine guns. It's going to be pretty bad if we try to advance in full view. I'm sure the Russians can see everything, so they're just lying in wait. And here we're going to try to use, like I said, the islands of cover offered by the scattered trees in order to skip from cover to cover. And here we're going to just advance in the middle toward that little solitary house just below the hill, or I guess on the road to the church. Yeah, so still making up my mind about moving the troops, and finally decided. So just moving on all fronts. Nothing too serious or complicated. And Finnish had their sweet time to camouflage this tank, along with an I guess swastika. Okay, so they wear some gray overalls, and here is a tank that is moving. And I think I like the camouflage. It's a brown, green, and also a bit of a sky blue. I don't know what their intention was that, using those combination of colors, but I like it. Yeah, looks pretty good for both summer and winter, so all-purpose, all-seasonal decal or camouflage. And this game features some Finnish sayings. I don't know what they're blurting out, but it's pretty cool. Nice little detail. So we have made our destination the first turn, so I guess I need to be a bit more bold or bolder in moving them around, because they have finished their trek despite some of them being green. They do listen to their commands pretty well, I guess, because of the commanding officers are pretty good. And the machine guns are covering for us for a little jaunt there into that solitary piece of cover. Tank is moving to contact. Still eye on the buildings over there, because they might house some of the defenders who probably will have a full view of us as we go closer, trying to use the scatter tree cover to screen our advance alongside the road. The house on the left still houses hidden Finnish troops. I don't know whether they can actually look outside, because they're all prone on the ground. Yeah, these guys are making their way unscathed, so pretty good progress so far. Yeah, and this is a close-up of their behind, yeah, running. Yeah, that's a pretty interesting uniform. Yeah, very practical looking. Yeah, they're very shouty. I think they're using similar helmet as the German guys. I don't know whether they changed it after they changed size near the end of the war. Maybe not. So they made it into this building. They can use it as a launching point or use it as a bit of a outpost or something to oversee what is going on here, the rest of the group. And they're making a pretty good progress alongside the right hand side. These guys are the green troops, moving after the regular troops had moved into cover. So I think it's a pretty good setup. I don't know. Everything can change in a matter of turns, so a single turn, so you need to see what is going to happen. So just general advance along all front. I'm being a bit more cautious here, moving to contact after we entered into the scattered tree on the other side of the road. Yeah, still moving. And the machine guns are having a pretty good view of the middle, while these guys are advancing on the right side, all the same. That is the graveyard, you can see on the top, and I think we need to take that graveyard in order to be successful. I just have a feeling. And yeah, these guys are moving across. No way to go but to across, and you can definitely hear, yep, MG opening up. And the tanks are pretty good, just spotting it and then responding right away. And I think one of the guys got hurt, one of the soldiers from one squad. And here is a Russian machine gunner. I don't exactly know what they're using, but probably a Maxim MG. And tank is actually just using the MG right now. And there is yeah, so they're being strafed. This officer responsibly moves right after all their squads have moved and takes cover very quickly. And yeah, the tank is actually unbuttoned, despite being shot at from the Russian MG. He has some kind of balls. And I instruct the MG that is right beside the tank to respond and try to suppress the machine gunner in order for us to move. And move we shall in this turn as well. Yeah, the MG has a bit of trouble spotting what is up the hill, but the church is fair game. You can shoot at the church, God forbid. And yeah, the LNG is also ready in the middle to shoot back if needs be, because I'm sure the church is occupied. Or maybe the Russians think that the church is also sacred place and then occupying it or something, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, finally moving one of the hidden guys from the left. They try to link up or something. And then moving these guys all the same, because we are in pretty good cover and there's just only one machine gun now being shot at from different sources. And here I'm looking at yeah, some of the other line of sight here, whether we can cover some of these guys as they move. And the right side, I'm making a big push because I know that the Soviets are going to be a bit occupied on the left side. So on the right side, just move, yeah, until we make contact. These guys moving to contact, they are green troops, so they're liable to get panicked and shaken and all that in between. So you need to kind of cuddle them, baby them in a way. Yeah, now they button up and start shooting. Also using the main gun. He has 115 high explosive shells, so I think he can spare a few for the Russian machine gunner. And there is that artillery spotter. Yeah, only German guy perhaps in this fight. The Finnish, I don't know whether you're curious, also using the Maxim MG, so I guess they took it from the Russians, or before the war they bought it from whoever makes Maxim MGs. Yeah, okay. So they're moving up, and pretty close-up shot of tank shooting their shell. And the second source of fire, a bit farther away from where the first Russian was discovered, is also shooting at one of the advanced units. And here, the hidden guys are moving up. Yeah, so they're sneaking around, and the fight is happening and intensifying. So we need to make up and try to move. I mean, still moving still. On the right side, we're moving pretty briskly toward the hill. And here we are a bit more cautious, moving to contact and try to, if possible, fire back. And there was another source being discovered, perhaps the objective house, now labeled as Soviet Union controlled, which is given, but now we verify that there is a soldier there, so I think the shot, I guess enemy identified as shooting at one of our squads. Yeah, okay. So the sniper is moving. To take a better look, I think I made a mistake of placing him so far away from the main battle. He has only 15 shots, so we need to make sure that he's in a good place. Right time in the right place in order to be more effective. So our guys on the left are still moving up despite being fired upon from multiple sources. They're taking a pretty good care of themselves. They're moving in bursts, and they're taking cover at the right time, so they didn't lose a lot of men despite being shot at from higher ground. Yeah, I think we are trying to suppress them a bit, and these guys are still sneaking. Can Russians see them? I don't know. Yeah, just making a slow progress, slow but steady. Oh yeah, we are being seen. Yeah, we are being seen. No fooling the Russians there. They're eagle-eyed. I bet they suspected that something was hidden in that house over there, and they gotta jump on us. Yeah. Being suppressed, and there's yet another Russian, as you can see on the second floor of the building, shooting at us. So they're joining in the fight, and one of the guys got hurt in this squad, unfortunately, although they were behind the wooden fence. It's kind of not fair, but it's what happened. And yeah, and interestingly enough, we found a trench near the graveyard, just in front of the graveyard, so the machine gun is now covering it, because the trench on the higher ground looking down at us, most of them are green troops, not a really good combination for us, so I think the regular troops will have to do what is necessary and then move up there and have a look, have a peek at what is exactly up there, whether we should be really worried or not, whether we have to bring the tank there in order to fight off that possibly entrenched defenders there. And yeah, we have two immediate Russians firing at us, and I don't know what the makeup of their crew is or their squad is, or whether they're hurt or they're being phased at all by our tremendous amount of shooting. Kind of interesting that, well, not really interesting, but fortunate that we have made so far without other casualties here. We're all still 99%, so it means that we are still have a lot of fight in our tank, a lot of fight left, resolved. So these guys are advancing now, since the guys in front of them have moved up, and then I'm kind of is screening for them. Look at them all moving. Yeah, they're pretty quick about executing orders, so they're very well disciplined. Still shooting. Yeah, still covering for us. And this guy is not immune, but takes a really good time to take cover. Yeah. So They're not hurt, they're just alerted. Making some nice progress still, putting the soldiers in front, although kind of worried about their experience level. Right, so turn 7. Now the artillery spotter has taken spot and is aiming with these binoculars. Hopefully something good might come out of it. It's not unlimited resource, it's only 75 shells available. Now becoming a bit more, I guess, resolute in our a bit of jaunt here through the forest. Well, I mean, we're going to end up near the road here with the ruins, so maybe we have to take up shop there as well. And try to move our right side group in order to attract the Russians' attention toward this side, taking the church and all that. And then we see what happens. We move in unison or taking turns. Yeah, so we're making a bit of a run here. Now that I think 1/4 of the game has passed, I think we need to make a bit of a... Yeah, at least, if we are not making more progress, we need to be engaged and then have a concrete plan of what to do. So we're still moving up though, that's a part of the plan right now. Still moving up and seeing the real resistance from the Russians. We know that these buildings are occupied, so I'm aiming with the artillery to see if that's going to unseat them or root them out. Yeah, just below the church, we arrived just below the church. Maybe we're going to have to maybe rush for the church. Yeah. So that artillery spotter is kind of moving around. I don't know why. Maybe the building is too full. So the spotting has moved out of the line of sight of the artillery spotter, which is going to make things worse, I think. Yeah. A lot of shooting. Yeah, they're moving though. They're moving. They're rushing up and shooting back in some cases. Some very frenetic fighting, although okay, so artillery is landing actually far from where I set the initial target to. I don't know exactly what is happening, but that reveals something. I guess it's a kind of fortunate event that an errant artillery shelling has revealed another defensive structure, this trench on the other side of the graveyard. So it's an advance warning for us. I don't know, maybe the German artillery knew what's up, but that is not what I really ordered for them to do. I mean, that is like 100 meters or 200 meters away from where I set the initial artillery spotting. I don't know what is happening. Something really went off. And I guess the German artillery spotter is not really experienced. Yeah, this guy is regular experienced, though I don't know what is happening with Lieutenant Harmaja or Harmaya. Yeah, we spent like 20 shells already on that. I mean, it's good that they found the shelling had identified the trench. I guess it disturbed ground or something in order for us to take more notice of the trench there, but that is not what I ordered. I ordered immediate reprieve from that machine gun in the center of the town there, center of the village. Well, I guess yeah, I need to make sure that the right flank works out for us, because that is where the shelling is going. Okay, softening up the defense. Yeah, checking at the line of sight there, there's really no line of sight, so we need to perhaps try to get close to that trench up there and then see what is happening. And then these are all green troops, so I'm really loath to move them closer to the line of fire from the trench. But I have to make do with what I have. And yeah, that is a launching point for us to move into the church or the structure on top of the hill. And it's going to give us a pretty good vantage point. Maybe I should have taken the church first before using the artillery spotter. That's a mistake on my part, but I didn't really expect the artillery shelling to be that off. Could have really been really dangerous if it struck one of our units advancing on the right. Yeah, the tank is also... I mean, the tank and the machine gun doing its best to trying to suppress these Russian guys shooting at our left advance, left group advance. The artillery is still shooting at the trench or near that trench area. Pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't know whether that's a good thing or bad thing, but if there's a defender that has been damaged by the shelling, I guess it's a blessing in disguise. Despite all the shouting and shooting, we are still advancing a bit to progress. And tank is finally moving. Yeah. Slowly moving. I wonder if the Russians will have any legitimate anti-armor weapons. I think they will have some. And these guys are... some of the shells are landing a bit too close to our troops there. We're still moving, and then the next turn, turn 9, we are having a... yeah, we are kind of sneaking our way toward the front. Toward the trench, both trenches. Yeah, using the regular troop there to have a look, and tank is not going to be used as a yeah, as an element to push forward to the church and to take the graveyard in the middle. And I think there's a pretty good cover and everything in order for us to use it as a pretty good vantage point. I don't know whether the Russians will be stationed there. I guess that they will have some defenders. There's really no reason for them to abandon the really good vantage point. The light machine guns are preparing for possible counterattack from the hidden Russians in the church and some other building. Yeah, so we are advancing ever closer to the trenches. I don't know whether it's a good thing, but there's really no way for us to evade it, because from the high ground, they can see everything. If we set foot outside that scattered tree, I think even in scattered tree cover, they can see us coming, and they're just hiding before we get into their most effective range. So checking out the line of sight from this area, I think we'll be able to make a run for some of the houses if we play our cards right, or if we play the covers right. But our priority now is taking the church, using this glut of troops in the middle. Most of it is, I think, being shielded by the buildings, and then being distracted by the group on the left. And this guy's moving, yeah, rather slow, so I guess I need to move him, give him another order to drive faster for some fuel. A lot of Russian guns. Yeah, Russian guns are firing non-stop, keeping us at bay. And these most advanced guys are now sneaking, so they're really well covered. And I adjusted artillery target, and then this is the result. It's probably worse. It's too close to our position. I don't know what's wrong with artillery spotter. Maybe the altitude is included wrong or something. And some of these guys got clipped by the Russian defender in the trench. So at least one of the trenches being occupied. There is a trench that has been shelled before, so I guess they're angry about it. They can still hide more troops lying wait. So yeah, we have a bit of trouble there in the right side as the trench revealed the defender inside. I'm expecting another defender to pop up and then joining in the battle. One of the Finnish green troops got shaken and panicking right away. He lost one man from the troops, so yeah, it's definitely expected. We are moving in order to fight off that or suppress that defender in the trench, and that is going to be our focus for this turn. Turn 10, so last turn in this episode. I gave another order for the tank to move up as fast as possible and try to support this guy sneaking to see whether they have any other defender in there. If there's none, then we're going to advance toward it. This guy is sneaking on the left side. I wonder if we are finally out of the line of sight from the German machine guns or Russian machine guns. Yeah, these guys are firing and everything. Maybe this guy is only one in the trench, I'm not so sure. Then we can probably overwhelm him with numbers. But this guy's not having a good time, just crawling back. Oh, no, changing direction once again. Deciding to just crawl forward into the trench. I didn't give that order. Yeah, it's basically on their own volition. So they figure that it's going to be better if they just take chances in the trench. And I agree with that, I don't have any problem, although, I mean, if there was an enemy hidden in the trench, it's going to be almost a massacre. These guys are moving with the tank. I don't know whether the tank is shooting them, I don't think so, but at least, yeah, they're not being, like, getting injured. Yeah, so the Russians are more concerned about the guys on the left than the tank or the guys in the middle. Maybe they know something that we don't. A Molotov cocktail wielding guy in the church or something ready for a strike against the tank. As he moves slowly upward into its range. Yeah, these guys are really getting close to the trench. I don't know whether the trench is occupied. Yeah, a lot of firing still, a lot of bullets being wasted, nobody getting hurt. So I think I really didn't lose any soldiers in this fight. We advanced a bit. In the next episode, I think we really need to push forward into the church and then see whether we can use that as a staging ground for further intrusion into Viipuri. Alright, so thanks for watching everybody, and hope I can see you next time as well. Please stay tuned.